And we are live. Welcome back to another episode of Two Peas on a Pod. We are your hosts, Toofy and
Omi, welcome back. How are we, T?
We're doing good, man. Just took a nap.
You just what, sorry?
I took a 10-minute nap.
That's what the unemployed life is like, huh?
What do you mean? I'm on placement. Leave me alone.
Yeah, but like, you're still
That
unemployed.
is a job.
Yeah.
They're just not paying me.
You don't get paid?
They're making me do all the work.
How is placement going?
It's great.
Yeah?
I've never done so many lesson plans.
Yeah,
And
you
my
know when you
teacher doesn't
actually
do
start- Yeah, because no teacher ever does them when you start. Like, at all.
No
It's the
chance.
one thing that they teach you how to do, but you will never actually take with you into the real world, like into the real job.
No, I swear. I was like to him, hey, man, I'm going to make you a lesson plan next week just in case you want me to teach a class or something. He actually giggled. He's like, huh?
I bet lesson plan?
Yeah. I was like, don't you make them? He's like, nah, man. He's like, I come up with the lesson in the morning.
I'm not going to lie.
I was like,
Sometimes you
fair
do it
enough.
like when you're marking the role. Like you'll look at it like, what are we teaching? And then he's like, yeah, states of matter. Like, yeah, we know what a solid is. I know what a liquid is. That's why teachers enjoy teaching middle years, man. Like,
I was going to say, that must be a high school thing.
well, yeah, because we had our mate Hamada. He's recently started doing CRT work at the school that I'm at.
Yeah.
And
At
this-
AIA.
At AIA.
Oh, wow,
Yeah, we're
congratulations.
taking anyone on board now. You know? We're doing it hard out there. I mean, he's a quality teacher. So
You know what? This is the second time you've roasted him on
I
the
know,
show.
I
You
know.
gotta stop
We're-
doing that,
I'm so
man.
sorry.
He's going to start listening. He's going to start listening to this podcast now.
So what he did was I came to work. I had a half day today, so I came to work halfway through, and he had my classes in the morning. Two of my classes in the morning were bio for VC, and he walked into the class and like I left them work to do, but he tried to obviously engage with them and do whatever it must be done. And he's like, bro, like I couldn't teach anything. I'm like, bro, it's bio, like simple bio. It's like, no, bro, I knew nothing at all. But when he took my year 8 class after that, he's like, bro, it's easy. States of matter. I taught them how to turn like a solid into a liquid by heating it up. And then you heat it up even more and it turns to a gas. It's like, this is easy. And that's what teaching is, man. Middle school teaching it's a joy because it's so simple, so straightforward.
Oh, thanks for the motivation, man.
Anyone can do it. Which is why I'm surprised how many
The
people...
future of the education system is safe in our hands.
Nah, but we do need another pay rise, obviously. Like,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
There's also the...
Pave the way for me. I'm coming out.
Have you done the land type test yet?
This year.
Oh, you haven't done it yet?
Yeah, this year.
It's shocking how many people fail that thing, like repeatedly.
Well, the thing about my university is they make you do modules online, which is the exact same as the land type test. So you have to do, you have to work at a certain level. So there's like 7 levels.
Yeah.
And you have to have a minimum working level of 4. And if you do that, that's like a hurdle task for the assignments.
Yep.
And you're meant to do it before your land type.
Okay, that
Or
makes sense.
you can do your land type and skip the modules. But you got to count on the fact that you pass your land type in
Dude,
first go.
It's so, yeah, but like, I know that the literacy part is, you know, from what I know, the numeracy, I shouldn't say I know, from when I did it, the numeracy went up to like year 10 level. So unless you don't know how to do financial math, where it asks for you to like compound interest, and it gives you the formula to compound that interest as well.
You'd be surprised. I was teaching year 10s. They don't know how to round up.
Bro, it's not about them. The teacher needs to know.
Yeah, but I don't think the teacher knew.
Yeah, that's the problem. I always used to question myself. I'm like, man, half of my teachers back in the day would have probably failed this test.
Yeah.
If they were to have it taken
100%.
now. Yeah.
100%. I just remember like our teaching methods now, the teaching strategies we use
To the way they
to the way they taught us. We have to be patient. We have to revoice it. You know, then we have to repeat it. Back then, they used to just yell at us.
Well,
Like, how come you don't understand it?
That's so true.
But yeah,
Oh,
but because parents used to take their side as well on things like that.
Yeah.
Now parents
Like,
on the
how come
side,
you don't understand it?
Yeah. Seriously, like, I used to be like, oh, you know, you can't even speak English. And then they were like, oh, yeah,
They're
sure,
like, so
sure.
it's numbers. I was like, now maths has English in it, man.
But yeah, the symbols, man, the symbols get you. Nah, but yeah, working at a school is fantastic. There's a lot of things that you know, you struggle to get your head wrapped around. And today's topic is actually going to be one of them as well. Do you want to give them today's topic, T?
A sexual education.
Yeah.
Sexual education.
What a way to say it.
Puberty are definitely the topics on for tonight. And we might add something in later.
Well, no,
Depending on the time. Let's
halfway
see how we
through,
go.
we'll dabble something in. But yeah, sex ed, because I can say
Before we get into it, I have a swimming carnival next week. Do you know what a swimming carnival is?
we don't really do swim carnivals at our school. We do regular carnivals.
Well, I have an all-girls
like
school,
regular people.
all-girls school swimming carnival.
Are you gonna wear like budgie smugglers? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you?
As in, I didn't know they were going to be swimming in it. I thought it
What
was just
did you
like
think
I
a
thought it was
swimming
just like
carnival
an
was?
athletic, like an athletic track club.
But they want to
just
call
do
it a swimming
assessments.
carnival.
They want to call it a swimming carnival, and I was like, oh wow, so they do swim, and we had to have a meeting, and they had to announce in the meeting that the girls weren't dressed appropriate last year, so we have to make sure they're dressed very.
Wait, what do
appropriate
they
this year.
want them to dress as? To be honest, it's a swimming carnival
I
at
understand
a public
that.
school.
But have you seen the bikinis these days?
Nah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not a beach goer, so no, not really.
Really? You
Oh, I've seen
haven't?
it on Instagram.
Yeah, you've
Yeah,
seen
it's on
Instagram. I was
Instagram,
going to say,
yeah.
anybody's seen it on Instagram.
I divert if I can see them four coming. I'll divert my eyes and like swipe.
Now,
yeah.
just imagine that, but you're eight. It's messed up, man.
that's
Yeah,
weird.
no, it's weird.
I'm actually
especially-
surprised they're making you go.
Yeah, me
I
too.
thought they had swimsuits, like uniform
That's what I thought.
swimsuits. They go
That's what I
swimming.
thought.
Professional swimming,
Back in the
right?
days, they probably did, but not
But
anymore.
probably not, man. So we were definitely warned to remind the students.
I genuinely
to
would have
dress
thought they would
appropriate.
have made that like a. If it's an all-girls school, it would have been like the female teachers that would have gone, and the male teachers might have just stayed back, or, had the option of doing something.
Not at this school. We actually all have allocated tasks.
Do you also have to wear a bather, or like?
That's
are
what I
you
asked
guys
them.
swimming as well in that thing?
Nah. Thank God. No.
Yeah.
Definitely not, man.
That's hard. I think that's like one of the hard things about working at a public school. Like, there's a lot of things that you have to like work your way around and be comfortable with.
Yeah.
Especially with sex ed.
I just find it awkward. Like, I find it awkward.
It is awkward.
If you were a female, how would you dress like that in front of your teacher? Like, that's weird. That's like dressing now. And then 5th period, I got him for maths class. That's it's a bit
Like me
weird,
going
man.
in front of Mr. Gupta and like budget man and like let's go. Nah, that's odd. Well, then again, it's odd for us because we came from a private
but I
school.
think the issue wasn't the fact that the girls were wearing it. It's because it started a trend, and then all the girls that were modestly covered started altering their swimsuits to look a lot thinner.
How can you call up a parent though and tell them like your daughter's bathers are unacceptable? Bro, they're bathers. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, like they're bathers.
But you have to understand there is like a huge gap in the school that I teach between the conservative girls and then just a regular public, normal Aussie girls.
Yeah.
So we've got both ends of the spectrums, both cultural differences. And now we put them in one school, and it's like, whoa. So I'm excited to see how this plays out, to be honest.
I feel like, yeah.
I got assigned a house cup, rocking the outfit, the costume of blue.
What was blue in our school called? We had like
Safa.
Arab. Was it Safa?
Safa.
Safa? Yeah.
Safa.
We had to just, like Arabify everything in our school.
Yeah, it's so bad. But do you even remember what cup you were in?
I was in green. I remember it was.
I was in green.
Wasn't that Arafat?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You know why
Arafat,
I know it's Arafat? Because everyone say Arafat's a fat.
Yeah.
The insult, man.
They got the shape of your head right.
Yeah. Wow. Not wrong.
All right, sex ed. Let's go.
All right, sex ed. Let's go. Now, I'm gonna say, what age, when you have kids, if you have kids, you better have kids.
Yeah.
At what age do you think like sex ed?
Well,
is
how would I be able
something-
to have kids if I don't have my sexual education class?
Bro, you give the sex ed class. You're the parent.
But wouldn't I had to have received it at one point?
You didn't. You didn't have the talk.
It's almost as if which came first, the chicken or the egg?
But you didn't have your a sex ed class.
Not really. No.
Not one that you can remember.
No, not at
Because
all.
we had
man.
one.
The only one we had was just learning what the anatomy was called.
Yeah, was that in science or in religious studies?
No, that was science.
Yeah, see, our one was a bit different. We had
I
religious
remember.
studies. You remember?
Yeah.
We had
I'm
religious
like, what?
studies.
We didn't have sex ed class.
Yeah, no, we had sex ed class. It was a sex ed session, is what I'm gonna call it. I think we did it in year 10 or year 11. It was basically the boys and girls separated,
Yeah.
and then we had one of the religious studies teacher at the time come in. Right, he
Oh,
just closed the door
yes,
behind
yes,
him,
yes.
and he just sat down and was like, "Ask me anything."
I remember that. But then they stopped making that after you guys. We didn't have that.
I don't know why. That was, but see, that wasn't enough. Like we went out of there more confused than when we came in half the time.
Yeah. Well,
Because-
we used to ask our teachers anyway.
Yeah, but see, the thing is,
It was like a lesson plan. They just winged it. What am I talking about today?
yeah, like, what am I gonna talk about?
What am I
Yeah.
gonna talk about?
Just give to
But
the
see, the
kids.
thing is, like, when even them coming in saying like, "Ask me anything you want to know," as a male who's like 15, 16 years old, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to ask you normal questions. And I'm going to leave that session not knowing anything useful. And like, how is that going to be? Everything that we learned from external sources.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Lucky the internet.
Well,
Definitely
bro,
didn't help.
We had dial-up internet. We were even
Nokia
worse.
phones?
Bro, what do you mean Nokia phones? We had a dial-up problem. I remember who was it? There was like 3 or 4 boys in our year level that used to get like mad reception. They used to have cable internet.
Wow.
So they were like the pioneers of our year level.
They were the Faulkner.
They
and
were the
Cobra
content.
crew.
They were the content creators, right? They were the one who created the content, and we absorbed the content from there. But we learned more from them than I did in school. And like this topic came up with my year 10 students, and also from a movie that I saw yesterday. Like my year 10 students, I teach them I have them for bio and regular science as well. And obviously last year we were learning about the reproductive system with them. So we went through the whole reproductive system. Working in like private schools, especially like faith-based schools, you have the whole issue of you don't know how much you can say as a science teacher, because they could turn around and be like, who are you to be teaching, you know, the birds and the bees? Like, I don't know, I'm the guy who studied it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently you're not.
And then he's like, I'm the guy who made them. Yeah. Clearly I might know. I'm somewhat of a scientist myself.
That's the problem though. It's like how you even navigate through this. And the year 10s were asking, they're like, you know, when is this going to happen? Like, because they're very, very, obviously the internet, man. Like these
But
kids,
you know what it is?
These kids know more than
I
we
like to
do.
call their bluff, because I remember being in that class.
In year 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was around year 11 for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I can't wait for that class. Me and the boys are laughing. Like, it's going to be hilarious. And at that time, they did separate the boys. The boys went with a science teacher, male science teacher, and the girls went with a female science teacher. And I was like, we're going to do it. And then he started talking about it. I was like, yo, this is kind of awkward, man. It's kind of awkward because all of us are laughing, but at the same time, we're like, we don't know anything. We know nothing. So yeah, I thought that was pretty. But to answer your question, I think it should be around, I'd say maybe 13.
What year level is 13?
Yeah,
Eight.
Eight or
Year
nine?
eight. Year eight.
Year
I'd
8?
say, yeah.
Year 8 or 9?
Year 8
yeah,
or
you
9.
would think it should be around year 8 or
Yeah.
9, yeah?
I think that's a good time, because you've just passed that stage of like, oh, well, I just discovered that thing.
Yeah, but you've
And then-
met year 8s and 9s. Do you think they're mature enough to learn it?
They don't have to be.
I think
but
they're already exposed to it anyway.
Yeah.
But that's the problem, because they get now schools, like public schools, they're doing it in like grade 5, grade 6.
No, relax. No, I think
That's true. No, that is true.
I know, but like
Yeah.
that's pushing it, man.
You think they don't know? Bro, these kids can walk into the class and teach me.
Yeah.
Like these kids will know more than I know.
No, but hey, it goes to year 1 either as well. Like,
Yeah,
they
and
start not
see,
only the sex ed, but
that's like sexuality stuff.
gender
That's like-
studies
yeah,
as well.
gender
Oh well,
studies.
yeah. Now
That's a whole nother
yeah.
spectrum.
That's
You know what? That could be the second
that can be an
topic.
episode. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do that because yeah, I just found out that at my school I have to be a lot more gender neutral when addressing the students.
Even though it's an all-girls school.
Correct.
How do you be gender neutral at a specific gender
I
school?
just call them guys. Work it out.
Are there any like open?
There is. I haven't met him yet.
But you know they're there.
Well, yeah, so the principals in the meeting told us that, hey, we just have to be careful if we do teach a lesson, we just have to be gender neutral. So it's like, hey, year 8s, or hey, everyone.
So inclusive language.
Inclusive. I can't say, hey, girls, hey, ladies. Hey, guys works, because it's like, haha, we all know that doesn't fit.
Yeah, unless
You
it
know what I
does
mean?
fit.
Yeah. But then again, then I've chosen the minority, so it works out both ways.
Dude, that's
It's confusing.
Yeah, we'll go
because-
on to that one next.
Yeah.
Because that one is just gonna hurt my brain a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
you're
sex ed.
saying year 8.
I reckon you're right.
You know, by year 8 they'll know everything.
I know, but they're not supposed to. I think the whole point of sexual education isn't to teach them everything. It's to guide them to avoid certain things.
Yeah, but can you imagine parents? Like, how are you gonna explain this to parents? Like,
I think this is how it goes down. All right. Paint you a picture. All right. You host these
why
classes.
did you say it so effectively though?
It's more engaging.
It's more engaging,
Okay.
man. You host the classes. You give the children a consent form. Okay. You let the parents decide. Hey, you want to teach your kids? Go for it. You want your kids to skip that class? Also go for it.
But like, so many of them. Yeah, okay.
If they skip it, they skip it.
I'm just thinking about like the faith-based schools. Would you say a science teacher should teach it, or a religious studies teacher from a religious-based school?
A science teacher.
A science teacher.
A science teacher.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, but at the same time, if the science teacher is working at a faith-based school, they would still have to respect the core values.
It's hard though, man.
But
it's
at
like
the end
saying
of the day,
teaching evolution at a faith-based school.
Yeah, but here's the thing with the problem. If it's just faith-based education, it doesn't prepare you for the outside world.
We know it doesn't.
Exactly.
We've been through this.
But that's where the sex ed from a science teacher does. It just bring you facts, diseases, problems that may occur.
But see, do you think that's also like an issue as well? The whole fact that, I don't know why we always have this notion from us that when we teach sex ed, we have to like tell them don't do it because you're gonna get diseases and you're gonna die. It's like that scene from Mean Girls. It's like if you have sex, you're what was it say? No, you remember the scene? No, damn it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's from Mean Girls, where it was like the sports teacher, and he's telling them, if you have sex, you're gonna get like a STD or a disease and die.
Yeah,
and then
but
like he goes around handing out condoms. Would you hand out condoms to for kids in year 8?
No,
Well, that's sex ed.
that's silly.
That's sex ed.
No, but that's where we draw the line of promoting it and educating.
That's the same. No, that is educating though. You're educating them, and
Yeah, I'll
the whole
educate
point
them.
of
Hey, you wanna go buy what you need? Go to Safeway or go to Coles, man.
I don't know if can they buy it. Like, is there an age for that?
Nah, there is an age
Okay,
for
fair
it.
enough. I'm just
It's like buying a balloon. Is there an age for buying a balloon?
anyways,
It's just awkward.
Yeah.
Even as an adult,
Yeah,
it's awkward.
It would be awkward.
You know, you
'Cause
gotta
if
stand
I
there,
saw
pretend like you're
someone-
looking at the toothpaste. You're like, I don't know which toothpaste to get because no one taught me about the toothpaste.
If I was working at the counter and like the guy came out, it's like that scene from Puberty, where the guy he's working at the counter and the guy comes with like a whole bunch of condoms. And it's like, Chief, collect much you up. And it's like, are you gonna have a 2-way game tonight? It's like, anyway, it's funny in Turkish. We've got to bring that meme
I'll
up.
bring it
please
up.
put that in.
Wow,
Yeah,
you
I
gotta
know what
work
you're
on your
talking
references, man.
I'm so sorry,
Come
man.
on,
The
man.
Turks will understand.
I was just gonna say when people go Dubai, I think there was that commercial where he bought a pack of them and a pack of flowers, like a bouquet of flowers, right next to it.
Yeah.
And the cashier's like, you're gonna have to do better than that in order to use that item. So yeah, I think definitely not handing it out.
Yeah.
I think it would be a priority.
But see, the whole the thing is, if you don't hand
What
out,
would you teach? Like, all right, you're hosting the class right now.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think you should teach? What do you think you should not teach?
You'd have to teach everything. You can't not teach
What's
something.
everything?
Bro, everything.
What's
Like
everything?
A to Z, and then you obviously give them the option of, asking themselves what they want to know.
But they don't know what they want.
Bro, in year 8. Like I said, they'll
They
probably
think
teach
they know
you
what they
in
want.
year 8.
No, but honestly, you'll teach them the anatomical parts.
That's regular
Easy,
class.
all right.
Yeah.
Then what are you going to teach them?
The whole birds and the bees, man.
The whole
you gotta
birds and the bees.
No, but like you'll go into the whole specifics of it. You'll obviously tell them that, traditionally this was the view, like this is the end goal for a healthy, stable relationship, yada, yada, yada. But I can't sit there and be like, don't do it or else you're going to die. Like, or get an STD or a UTI. Obviously you can. I mean, you're going to.
Yeah.
You can, but...
You definitely can.
No, you can, but it doesn't mean you just say don't. You know why? It's like
But wouldn't you want to tell them the correct procedure afterwards?
do it with someone that you have like the whole emotional thing to be in, or
No, that's not where I was
what
going
are
with
you
that.
talking
I
about?
just meant if you do it like the cleanliness process, obviously all the procedures that follow afterwards. Those are the things that people don't talk about.
like getting the
I think everyone knows the birds and the bees. They know where things go.
you'd be surprised.
They know where things go for the most part. Okay.
Once again, you'd be
for the most part. Okay. They may not know where all the locations are, but they may know the shopping center. They just don't know where the shops are. That's all it is.
That
That's all it is.
reminded me of my class when I was at my old school. When I told the boys at the old school, because it was all boys school anyway, So we were talking about reproductive system, and when I told them that females have like 3 orifices down, so like 3 holes.
Yeah,
down
no,
there.
we know that.
Okay, yeah, no, this is what the people don't. When I said they have like 3 holes, bro, the look on their face, like, what do you mean there's 3? Like, wait, what do you think there was, bro? Like, we only know of 2. And I'm like, yeah, there we go. This just shows you why you need it.
Yeah, of course.
Don't say of course.
But now are we giving him tips? Like, that's where you're going to start throwing it
No,
in.
we're not giving tips on nothing.
So what would you teach? What wouldn't you teach?
But the thing is, you would have to teach it all. You know what this is like? When we were doing, at the end of last year, me and one of the religious studies teachers were doing drugs. We were having a drug seminar.
First of all, did you hear what he just said?
No, we were doing
Me
drugs.
and the religious teacher were doing drugs.
I could have been misquoted on this one.
I know exactly what to do.
We're teaching the students about drugs.
Yes, we were having a seminar about drugs. And I told him coming into the seminar, I'm like, I cannot sit here and say, do not do drugs. The reason being is because we're here to educate them on the drug, and it's their choice from what they do. If I was to sit here and say don't do it, it's like smoking shisha. Do you know how many times we had?
You're not in a position to tell them not to do it. You're not their parent. At the end of the day, you're not their parent. You are their teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I can't say don't do nothing.
Your job is to just educate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you're saying you wouldn't tell them, like you tell them, nah, don't.
No,
Or
I
like,
didn't say that.
Yes, you did. You're
No,
like,
I didn't.
where's the limit? Like, where's the boundary?
Yeah,
There should
that's
be
what
no
I was
boundary.
asking. There shouldn't be a boundary.
No,
No,
there
I'm
shouldn't.
just saying there is a boundary.
But there shouldn't be.
I wouldn't go give them pro tips on how to do it.
No, let's say the pros on how to do it.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking is where you would do it.
Obviously, I'm not going to go into the whole motion of things and have a slideshow up. I'm just saying in regards to. I'm saying in regards to like the whole drug thing. I remember Portugal, for example. What they did was they actually made it completely legal for everyone to have personal possession of drugs. So if you were to be caught going out clubbing one night with a bag of whatever you had, you will not be fined.
Okay.
So what their whole process is we're not going to be here just putting like a whole fine or a ban on everything. What we're going to do is we're just going to educate the public, make it legal, let them decide.
Brilliant.
And they have a massive reduction in actual drug use and drug-related
Do you know what
crime.
the difference between that and Urates are? I'll give you a clue.
But why? Like the Urates back in the 1800s, bro, they used to run households, man. They used to have jobs. Why can't these ones?
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, how about we just make a little arrangement, yeah? Every time we talk about sexual education, stop caressing the pig. Just for a little bit.
You're going to take it away from me. Keep going.
Because I don't know who's more excited, you or the plant.
But I teach in my anatomy class.
Okay, interesting. All right, I got a question for you.
Talk to me.
All right, you ready for this?
Mm.
Would you let your kids sit a sexual education class hosted by me? Oh!
If I get to look at the curriculum, if I take a look at your lessons plans beforehand. No, look, that's...
Come on, man.
See, that's the whole question. This comes to the
gentle.
question of, would you let your kids go to a public school or a private school?
Private school.
Private school?
Yeah.
For the aspect of education or for the aspect of like the whole, the second topic that we're going to get into about the gender studies?
I think it just comes down to the fact that with private schools, it's a lot more selective on the students. They go through a process to select which students get in and which students don't get in. That way, at least their range of friendship group or the people that they're surrounded with, majority of the day, are on the same mindset.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. However, got to hand it to public schools. Some of them, they're great.
Did you say public schools?
Public schools.
Well, the inner Arab dad just came out there.
Bro, I'm trying to burp the whole time. And I can't because Naz is here.
Oh, yeah. Two of his missus is off camera just staring.
Just watching live.
Yeah.
Hi.
What are you doing here, actually? What is she doing here?
She brought us food.
Oh, yeah. She did bring us food.
She
Yeah.
brought us
Why didn't
food.
you tell me beforehand? I wouldn't have eaten.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I took a nap. That's why.
So we've got the big boss in here, so we're going to be very careful on what we say right now.
Not really.
We say
no.
bad things.
I think we're talking about sexual education.
It's a fantastic
and
topic.
It's a great topic. We
Yeah,
just
yeah.
still have to be sensitive because some of the parents may be listening to this podcast.
They are. I know they are. No, but see, I think this is what it comes down to.
Have you ever gotten a parent compliment yet?
on the podcast.
Yeah.
I've had a parent say they listen to the podcast.
Oh.
They said they find it funny.
Did that scare
and then
you a
that
bit?
conversation just stopped right
Wow.
there.
Did that scare you a little bit?
It scared me because when they said I listened to the podcast, I'm like,
You hear it, waiting for that second shoe to drop.
Yeah, I'm like, it's like my students that half of them listen to it. I told them do you have nothing better to do with your day? Because then they don't really listen to podcasts at all. I'm like, what are you listening for? I'm like, go do something else. Go do your work, bro. Like,
Wait a second. Let's just do some maths here, yeah? How many students do you have?
From like all the classes that I teach.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6. I should have like 130.
Now, what if
That's
they all
100.
hit follow or subscribe? I'm just saying our numbers would go up. That's all.
These kids will not follow and subscribe.
Hey,
Right?
they listen to the podcast. Follow and subscribe, man.
Nah, I think I know my senior kids do, but not the juniors.
That's
Thank
all right.
God.
Half it.
I don't want the juniors
Half
to
it.
listen to this.
You know, 50 of them follow and subscribe.
Yeah,
We're doing us a favor.
Nah, next time we're in class and we're on like Edrollo, I'll make sure I jump on their YouTube and.
Edrollo. You guys use that too?
Yeah, man. Every school uses Edrollo.
We had Edmodo back in the day.
You guys did Edmodo? That's
Yeah.
that's a free, cheap version of a LMS.
I know. I know.
Really?
That's why.
No, we use Compass now for LMS.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're a bit more
yeah, well,
refined.
we started off. We were the first generation to have it.
And then they realized
they're like, this is pretty bad. Yeah, let's get the better one. Let's actually pay for the full version.
Yeah, no, Edmodo was garbage.
Yeah, no, it's
I don't know. Look, the
horrible.
the gender study thing is an issue as well. I know at ours, like at every faith-based school, I should say, that we have contact with, they don't do gender studies. In regards to the fact that, like in science, obviously you're learning about the genetics and the hereditary side of things, but we don't do anything based upon, like gender fluids or, one of the 87 different types of identities that are out there.
Yeah.
And I think like if you were, I once in class, we spoke about it with our year 9s last year. So at my old school with the year 9s, and that created like a massive ruckus between the parents, because they're like, why is this being taught?
Because they can't separate education from promotion. They just can't. They can't. They keep thinking that if you talk about it, it means it exists. It exists regardless.
Like
Would you rather someone be oblivious to it, or would you rather someone actually know what they're talking about?
That comes back to this podcast too, though. Some of the topics that we're here, we had people message saying like, how could you guys talk about this?
It's
some of the topics, it's like
because it's out there.
But in our community,
Yeah, like
amongst our people,
what do you want us to talk about? Soccer, stocks, stonks.
Yeah, bro.
Right. We're gonna talk about things that we talk about on a regular, daily basis.
Yeah, like things that are actually happening.
Yeah.
I remember the whole section where like I remember when we were doing the drug seminar with the religious studies teacher, and he's like a prominent figurehead in the community. His thing was like, I've been hearing recently that, a lot of our faith-based people are turning to drugs and recreational drugs. He's like, and then I found out that at our school, it's becoming an issue, and I just want to laugh. Be like, man, have you been to Love Machine?
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the
Half the
cubicle
students are
line?
there.
Half the
No,
students.
but I think on top of that is because like the reason that's happened is because you told them not to have it. You told them that it doesn't exist, and when they came out of that world and went into the real world, they're like, oh wow, that's how it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have everything that I was told not to have because I can now.
Yeah.
It's like you give an adult the daily privilege of having ice cream every day. He's not gonna have ice cream every day. We tell him he's gonna be on a diet for 6 months. He's gonna crave ice cream every day.
That purge, yes. Of
Yeah,
course.
it happens all the time.
Yeah, like you see, and the thing is, it kills me at how oblivious everyone is to the whole thing. Like, there's, it won't be an issue here. It shouldn't be an issue here. And then, like, they catch, remember at the old workplace, at the old school, they caught one of the kids selling weed. And they're like, how could this be a part of our thing? Like, it's infiltrated our community. Where his brother is a coke dealer.
Right.
Like, his brother is actually a crack dealer that we all
I
knew.
don't know what school you taught at. Y'all get out of the northern suburbs, man.
But it's everywhere though, and it is a bit like you said, because we just shun everyone away from it. Half of the girls from like the old school that we used to teach, their parents are very conservative, like extremely conservative. For them, the whole idea is get them through year 12. They either get married or they finish their degree. The idea of going out, having a social life, because we used to tell them like, one aspect of managing stress, relieving stress is go out, have a social life, be with friends, And when one of them comes up and responds to you saying, I'm not allowed to. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to leave the house. Like, what is that?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Talk to me.
All right, so I had this common issue. I'm trying to get to know my students. All right, it's part of my criteria.
Yeah.
All right, talk to the students, engage with them. Every time I talk to a certain demographic of girls, and I go to them, hey, like, what do you want to do after year 12? You know, what is it?
Get married.
She's like, nothing. I'm just going to end up getting married. Right? Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm like, what makes you say that? And then I asked my teacher, I was like, hey, what's going on? Why do half these girls they don't have any ambitions, they don't have any goals? What's up with that? They're like, oh, it's pretty common. Like, 2 of our year 12 students that are in year 12 now, they just got married.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, cool. And he's like, yeah, well, they only came back. Well, they stopped coming back the first week, and now they're back the second week because their husbands let them.
I love it.
What?
I love it. But see,
What?
a lot of them will take the whole. This is like they'll take the religious approach to this. They'll be like, it's religiously, this is the way it should be, type of aspect.
Yeah, but they're also getting married because that's what their culture tells them to do.
Yeah, but it comes back down to, because from the old school, their idea of we should get, the whole notion is like getting married early.
Yeah.
Get married early. Back in the days, getting married early would be fine because obviously you can sustain a household. How are you at 19 years old gonna sustain a household? You don't even have a part-time, like even if you had a part-time job.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, you're not exactly the most mature person going around.
Thanks,
at
man.
19.
No, I appreciate that.
At 19 to get, bro, at 27, I'm not mature enough to, manage a household, probably. I don't know. But, we won't know until we find out. But I'm just
27,
saying,
man, come on, get your priorities straight.
hey, look,
yeah?
I've been, I'm not
No,
gonna
he's got a
lie,
point.
I've been house sitting my brother's house for the past 2 weeks now, and I burnt popcorn twice. So that should tell you something about my skills.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, man. I just can't imagine a world where we don't let people pursue their own careers and their own mindsets, and we have to enforce something on them. And that's what's going on these days, is a lot of these parents are enforcing their own ideologies onto their children without giving them their own independence.
I think it comes down, like, if you take a look from their perspective, I think for them it comes down to the idea that I want to protect my kid from, because obviously they came from overseas.
Yeah.
They're migrants. Their idea is I want to protect my kids from this Western culture.
Yeah.
And one way to protect my kid from this Western culture is to make sure that they don't, get exposed to the Western culture. So I'm going to take them to and have him live in conservative areas or areas where things are similar to ours culturally back home. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them, married off straight away so they can continue this conservative lifestyle so they don't get exposed to the devil's work out in the open, And when they do get exposed to it, if they go to university, they lose their mind.
I respect that, but you miss the whole point of adapting
They don't believe in
into
assimilation.
a different culture.
Yeah, but they don't believe in assimilation.
Well, they're going to have to, man. They're going to have to. You got to get... I think as a parent, this is the hardest thing ever, is at one point you got to stop and think, hey, I may not know everything. Maybe my child that I've given all these opportunities, all this education, everything, their freedom, now has overlapped me, has evolved to a bigger being than I am.
But that's fear for them.
It is. It's fearful, absolutely, because you now just roll the dice with that trust.
Yeah, and for them, it would be the whole aspect of, they've learned a lot, but who do they learn it from? They didn't learn it from one of us.
Yeah.
Especially,
and then the ego kicks in.
That's where nationalism comes in. Right? Turkish pride.
That's what happens.
No, but see, that's where the ego of it, not ego of it, I'd say like the whole fear of it kicks in because they learn about all this stuff, fair enough. But who did they learn it from? They didn't learn it from someone like us, who comes from the same views that we come from, who has like the same faith that we have. And for a lot of them, that's an issue. I remember when we used, some of the kids were making friends in school, outside of school in university. And they're like, our parents are not accepting of some of the friends because of the cultural backgrounds that they come from.
Yeah.
Like, oh, why? Like European, you got to be careful of the Europeans. Like, why? Is they from this part of it? No. Any part of the world that they don't agree with or they think is different to
Do
them.
you realize all our parents are actually racist?
See, the thing is, I've never really had, my best friend in my first and second year of uni was Dean, a Greek guy.
Yeah.
My parents were fine with it. They had him over. It It's funny though, they tend to give them very, very Arab names. You know, like my friend Maroon.
Yeah.
They call him Harun. Whenever he comes over, they're like, Harun. I'm like, no, bro, it's Maroon.
Yeah, what do you mean? Tawfiq becomes Tefik.
Yeah, Tawfiq is Tawfiq in my household.
It comes
It's not even because, it doesn't matter if you're Muslim, you got to be Turkish Muslim.
You got to be Turkish.
Yeah.
Adam.
Adam. Well, my mum keeps telling me, like, why did Adam change his name for? I'm like, bro, do you remember Adam's last name? Nah, but it's hard. And the thing, for them, I don't think it's the whole idea that they bring like some type of racism across. For them, it's they're bringing fear that they were taught across. Because if you take a look at traditional Turkish education, this is like specific like to the Turkish people. If you actually take a look at the education that they were taught back in Turkey, it was heavily revolved around the idea of you have to be fearful of your neighbors. When I say fearful of your neighbors, the demographic of countries that were around us, because we were betrayed by the countries around us. So the whole generation that were coming up was fear those and basically never trust them.
Is that why you guys just claim everything now?
In what regard?
Kebabs, yeah, we made it.
Well, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Hummus, we made it. What do you mean? Oh, it's that food.
Bro,
Yeah, it's like the thing that we
take
do.
hummus, bro. I'm not a dip person anyway. You can have hummus.
You know what I mean? Anything. Oh, yeah. Tea, we made it.
Nah, tea came from China. We all know that.
I brought this hoodie. Yeah, made in Turkey. Yeah.
The good stuff is pull and bears, bro. If it's of quality.
Calm down, I'm not stealing anything.
If it's of
from
quality,
you
it came past our shores. No, but see, it's so thin because it actually did breed a sense of you have to honestly be not just fearful, but you have to take pride in yourself and your own people and uplift your own people. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of communism. It actually reminds me of communism.
So you're saying Turkey is just a communist country?
Was.
Oh.
I want to say was. They had this whole idea of, because we were so...
Wait, is this why you have to marry a Turkish woman?
No.
That's not the reason?
No, I don't have to marry a Turkish woman. The
I
thing is,
feel like
it just
you
makes
kinda
life
do.
a lot easier if I was to marry a Turkish female. The reason being behind it is because obviously, like, I think it'd be easier for my father. Because my father's like, his English is great. Like, he can communicate, he'd be fine. But obviously for my mum, like, she was born and raised in Turkey.
Yeah.
All her education was there, family, everything's there. So for her, I think for them, they might consider themselves to be like visitors to this country rather than like permanent residents of this country. And their ultimate goal, and I don't know if yours is the same, Adam, is like to eventually go back.
Yeah.
Like once they retire, to like spend, 8-9 months there, come here for a whole day, a few months, see the grandkids, whatever, and then go back. So for them, they don't even
very
see...
different from my parents.
Yeah, how do your parents?
Egypt. Like, bro, we left. Are you serious? Why are we going back? No, that's awesome, bro. I'm glad because I've been to Turkey. It's awesome.
That's the thing, though. Now it's worth going to.
Yeah.
Back in their day, it wasn't. I think that's why they all came here in the beginning, because in their day...
I guess you could say Turkey's now westernized.
Oh, guaranteed.
Well done, Turkey.
Yeah. But see, that was the funny thing, because beforehand, when Ataturk came into power, I'm not gonna say forced westernization into the country, but he instilled it as a part of the culture, because
this is year 12 history all over again.
yeah, but
all right.
yeah,
And here we go.
Here
This is what I love asking Turkish people.
Yeah, go.
Hey, are you an Erdogan supporter or are you an Ataturk supporter?
But see, that's the thing. I can't
You'll
even
automatically tell.
yeah, but I can't say I'm both though.
Because no, you both, bro, you'll get stoned.
No, but like you can be both. From a military point of view.
Be careful there.
Be careful, white chocolate.
Be careful, man.
Look, he did it great for the country. You don't even know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You know when you start that sentence off? It's Ataturk.
Okay,
Yeah, all right. Come on, we all learned this.
Guaranteed.
All right.
Guaranteed.
But, and then there's the but.
There's the but.
Yeah, of
There
course.
is the
There
but.
we go.
Because
Tell 'em the
obviously
but.
you can't talk about liberation and oppression at this and like be an oppressive person at the same time. Obviously, he brought a lot of liberation to the country, but on top of that, he brought out the cost of oppressing the majority of the country at the time. You can't be like, okay, we're going to become a Western society now by destroying the foundation of religion that we had there and forcing people to become westernized. How is it like my mum basically didn't get a education in Turkey past, high school, because by law she couldn't enter a government building because of her headscarf. We don't even get that in a Western country.
Yeah, it was just tough.
But you're telling me I over there, if I was to go to the army, when my dad went to the army, she wouldn't have been able to go to the government building to celebrate him, finishing his army service because she wears a piece of clothing on her head. They're so ready. All these people out here are so ready to be uprise and lose their mind and go crazy when they hear, oh, France is about to ban, the headscarf. I've seen so many of the same people that are like massive supporters say, oh, yeah, how dare they oppress? We oppressed for so many years and people still supporting for it.
Wow.
How does that work?
Wow. I'm captivated.
Thank you. Thank you very
I'm
much.
in it now.
I just went a bit away from sex ed, but
One more time. Honestly, the whole time I'm like, how do I segue back to our other
let's go
topic,
back to sex
puberty?
ed. Let's go back. This can be another day. You know what? We can invite someone who's
Who's been oppressed by Ataturk?
who's actually like a pro supporter and someone who's a anti supporter, and then we can have a field day.
Why? What is it with you and bringing feud onto this podcast?
It's fun.
Yeah, I always say it's content.
It's a lot of fun.
Content
bro.
is content.
I don't like
Content is
bringing
content.
people who get along too well.
yeah. That's why would you want that?
Nah.
It's a terrible interview.
No, that's not fun at all. Yeah,
Puberty,
sex-
how was it?
Puberty, personally. Some say I'm still going through it, bro.
I think puberty for a guy is very
Slow.
I was gonna say underappreciated.
How so?
How so?
Yeah.
Look, females, you guys have it hard. You guys have it really hard. Not obviously harder than men, but you guys can talk about it. We can't.
To who? About what?
To your own friends. Going through puberty to your friends has always been the biggest roast of your life.
Oh, as a guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. But I don't know how, I can't say, because we don't know how much females can talk about it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they can talk about it to
I don't think
themselves,
they can
like to their
talk about
friends.
it. They can probably talk about it more than we can. Guaranteed. Because I've never said to my friends.
I can imagine there are some stories of girls picking on each other and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, especially when it comes to, say, a girl's mum,
Oh, she can be
you
more
know,
open
a
with
girl's
that.
older sister,
Yeah.
we'll always like help him out and be like, oh my god, like I know what you're going through, like it's stressful, it's awesome. But for a guy, you just get a pat on the back. Good
Yeah.
job.
And you're firstborn, like you're the only child as well.
Yeah.
Adam, as the oldest brother, did you talk to your younger brother about it?
I was experimental kid, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what experimental kid means?
I don't know what that
crash
means.
course. Bro, he was a crash course in
Yeah,
parenting.
bro. They scrunch me up and then they throw me out. Oh, he's all wrinkled. Next one, he'll be
Yeah,
much
but
better.
like, you went through puberty before your brother, I hope.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
The maths doesn't add up.
The math doesn't- like when he was going through the
No, I
years
couldn't approach him
at all.
because I wasn't approached. So I didn't kind
So
of,
you just
know,
never
it was
spoke about
harder. It was harder for me.
Yeah, I can't imagine going up to my younger brother for come like, hey.
No.
Yeah, like,
You
hey
wanna
man,
learn
how you
how to
going?
shave?
I see,
You
I see a
wanna
little
learn-
bit of
But
hair
just
on you.
imagine this, because we all had the mustache at one
That
point or
dirty
another.
Sanchez.
We all
Bum fluff,
had
bum fluff.
we all had the bum fluff. We all had the dirty
Some of us
stash.
still do, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
By year 7, by year 8, we had the first little hair coming out of our chin, and we're like, okay, it's happening.
It's on.
It's on now. Yeah, and you don't shave it. For the love of God, you don't shave it because this is your trophy.
It's a sign of manhood.
One lone hair. Okay, and then by the end of the year, suddenly you start growing like little patches
Yeah.
all over, and you're like, it's happening now. Why is it taking so long, man?
Yeah,
Seriously, yo, this thing doesn't look like the way it looks on TV. What's happening? And then people are roasting you. Be like, hey, the pedo's back. Welcome back. And you're like, I don't want to shave it because I'm scared it might not grow back. I worked 1.5 years on this bad boy.
But see, I used to hate. You would have been the same as well. Like there were some Arabs in our year level.
Oh yeah,
Lobos.
they were born with it. Yeah, man.
Man, they could braid their beard.
But
and
what do you mean? They
everything,
were
like,
born with like a full beard.
Yeah.
Nah, this was the scariest part for me. You ready for this? Year 6 to year 7, man.
Oh, that summer break when people come back.
Yeah. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah,
I am looking up at everyone now. What's going on, guys? Y'all were my size last year. Where did all of this come from? And
Bro.
since when are you guys good at soccer? Like, how did all this happen over the summer break?
I'm convinced their parents feed them like HGH as they go on to the summer holidays, man. Because these kids,
Bro, there's definitely something they eat.
bro,
They're
something's
dying.
going
I don't
on.
know,
well,
genes or
everything's full of
diet.
hormones now anyway. So that's beside the point. Have you
Bro,
seen
they
these kids?
shave and then it grows back in 2 days. A full beard.
It
Yeah.
tilted me when I was
You know-
the year 12 doing the year 12 coordinating at the last school, and we used to go excursion. Like I said, bro, my kids were freaking older than I was. They had they've got the beards. They have the beards, and like we're struggling with bum fluff.
I'm going to use your brother as an example. He's 21 now.
Our younger brother.
Yeah, younger brother.
Is he 21?
Alright.
He's 22.
I think he's
21,
21.
Yeah, he turns 22 this year.
22, yeah.
Anyways, I've been trying to convince him for the past 6 months
To
to
get-
shave his fake beard. Right, he's got like little hairs growing out from the side.
He's got the little downstairs. He's got
Yeah.
the Egyptian one, the one like it's just like the
And I
bottom
don't call it the
section.
Egyptian one. This is
what it's known
this
for.
is kind of an Egyptian beard. And I'm like to him, bro, take it off. Take it. It's not impressing anyone at this point. It's time you let go. And he goes to me, nah, man. What do you mean?
Nah.
No,
Look at it. It's growing. Right? And this whole misconception about can we actually set this myth aside now? If you shave it, it does not grow back thicker.
No.
Okay? What
no.
ends up happening is because the blade cuts the hair, it appears thicker.
Yeah.
Okay? It doesn't mean otherwise everybody that shaves will then keep doubling up their beard, but it doesn't work like that.
Unfortunately, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I've done
Absolutely doesn't
extensive
work like
research
that.
for 22 years on this thing, but it doesn't work, brother.
You know what I mean? And then you start growing hair in places that shouldn't be growing hair. And you're like, wait a second, is that normal?
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, it took us through about year 12 to like just nudge the other person, like, hey, you grow hair down there too.
How
And
come
they're
they
like-
didn't talk about that in year 12 or year 11?
About
Like
what?
teachers talk about that.
About,
what?
Puberty and
hair.
growing hair and
What do you expect me to teach you how to shave?
unfamiliar things.
That's the thing. That's the thing your dad has to talk to you about, though.
Yeah.
What if? Yeah, okay.
That's when your dad's like, hey, man, I've noticed a single hair on your chin. Here's a razor.
Cause yeah, can you imagine? Like,
Don't cut yourself.
I had to Google how to shave.
I think everyone's cut themselves.
Everyone's Googled how to shave.
Yeah,
man.
and it
Of
didn't
course.
turn out well.
Yeah. But like I think we came at a good time where trimmers were a thing.
Nah, for me,
I didn't
was,
touch a blade, man.
I didn't
till
have a
was
trimmer.
much older.
The only trimmer that I had was like the actual big one you used to cut your hair.
Yeah.
Because
Thank
my
God
dad-
for forums, man.
My dad used to insist
Single
on cutting
blade.
hair at home.
Single blade, 5 blade, Gillette Fusion. I was like, all these names, man. I
That's-
don't know. I don't know what to do.
That's when I found out Bic, the pen guys, actually make razors as
Yeah.
well.
yeah. And what's the difference between foaming cream and gel shaving cream? What?
I use soap.
You know what I mean? There are so many things, and the marketing will get you.
Ah, bro, it
you
gets
don't
you.
know what's going for.
But I remember the first time like I saw my dad, because my dad used to do the whole get the bowl and then like you dip the
Yeah.
Oh,
Old
old
school.
school.
And you get the
Yeah,
brush.
I
Yeah,
love
and then,
that.
like,
I
you
love
like-
that.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you a
I
story.
looked at that thing. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
I'm
Number
gonna
one.
tell you a story. Oh,
Talk to me.
it's so good. I got given one of those as a gift.
Yeah.
The brush, you
Yeah.
know, the one they use to put shaving foam
Yeah.
all on you. And I'm like, all right, cool. I've watched enough YouTube videos. I'm ready. I put the cream in the bowl, put the warm water, you know, mix it in. Bro, first stroke, boom, break the brush.
You broke the brush.
Broke the brush in the first go.
How do you even manage that, bro? Who bought that for you?
I don't know. I told my dad. I was like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, what's happening?
What's going on with that?
It's
He's
not
like, yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
I don't know, man. I was using the Bic. I remember the Bic used to come in like packets of 30, man. That thing was efficient.
No.
Yeah, it was fantastic. But like, obviously, we've moved on now.
I think,
People get laser. Would you get laser? Like all over? Like a full Brazilian?
yeah, I used
That
to get
scares
laser
me.
all over, bro.
Yeah, that's painful as well, though.
Yeah, it was, man. I'd
Yeah.
walk out of there sweating.
Yeah.
It
If I
wa-
was to do it, I'd
it
need
was
a man to
annoying.
do it, though.
Nah, man.
I don't want a female to watch me cry. But I don't need that type of embarrassment in my
Nah,
life.
if anything, the female's good because it makes you restrain a lot more. It tests
to,
your
like,
willpower.
Man you up a bit more.
Yeah, because like, you're watching, huh?
Yeah.
She's like, why are you crying? Is someone cutting onions in here? No, also like with puberty, I think the hardest thing is realizing that your body type and genetics are not the same as everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the hardest part.
It is.
Baby fat for some people does not go away.
Dude, I still have baby fat.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
me. We're the people that I'm talking
Oh,
about.
yeah.
And then other people by the time they're 16, they're just shredded with abs.
Not about the shit.
Never trained a day in their life.
Bastards.
Now in coach.
Yeah. All natty, I see. It's like the whole, have you felt like I can say it's for the guys in my year level, you had this like sometimes you run into them here and there. So I ran to one of the boys.
Mini what?
Like reunion type of
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
So I ran to one of the boys. This was like during lockdown. What happened was we went out to get coffees and like I accidentally bumped into him and like he's a bit of a chubby lad. I bumped into him and like it felt like I bumped into a solid brick.
Yeah.
And I'm
Just
like,
a brick
"Bro,
wall.
Is that? I had some like, is this muscle? And I felt him. He's like, nah, it's fat. I'm like, why is it so hard? But and like it just solidifies. Like, why is mine solidifying?
Yeah,
Why is that one still so like?
Why do I look
so
like a
soft?
jello shot? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? Why every time the wind goes, I go with it? What is happening?
I can see the direction of the wind.
Turbulence is occurring right now. That's one of the worst things about going through that. And then on top of that, you're trying to make puberty go a bit faster because you're realizing, wait, girls like guys with beards. You know,
we're talking about
it
puberty
started
now, huh?
trending.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro. Puberty's hard.
It's
Bro,
difficult.
you start smelling.
Oh my god,
Bro.
all the time.
Yeah, and when
All
you're
the
younger
time.
as well. Like now we had a thing where
The Lynx.
Yeah.
Lynx Africa and Lynx chocolate in the locker room will forever haunt my sense.
That's why
Everything.
I've got sinus problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I purposely blocked my nose. all
Yeah.
the time. We would all use the same spray can. It was one guy who had it, and we'd all take rounds. Hey, bro, pass me the can.
Yeah, but you felt like
we'd
such
walk
a-
in there thinking people probably can't smell that we smell bad. They can.
Yeah.
Found out afterwards.
But they can because we weren't taught to do it right. For
Yeah.
us, we were there and we're like, yeah, just spray me over the jumper, man. You'll be good for it.
And then 1
You'll
million.
master
when
smell.
1 million was like a thing.
For you guys, we missed the 1 million
Everyone,
vote.
everyone smelled. No, I got it from Ahmed from your year level.
Nah, but that was actual perfume.
Yeah, that
we
was
didn't
cologne.
use that for cologne.
Yeah, but we didn't
cologne.
understand that it was like 2-3 sprays max. But we were drenched, bad boy. Drenched is so hard that we'd be in one building and down in the canteen people can smell us. That's how bad it was. It was terrible.
Yeah, Invictus made his move after that one. I think. From
Yeah,
what I hear,
Invictus
Braz
was
is-
when I transitioned into year 12.
Yeah.
So that carried on to uni. So I got a good couple of years and then everybody ruined it. And I was like, all right, on to the next one.
Yeah, but see, puberty is hard, especially like when, as you say, you start realizing the other sex, which is why I think it's a very, very bad idea taking your child to a same-sex school, like an all-boys or an all-girls school.
Yeah, no.
You have to have mix.
That. No.
I know statistically it's actually better for females to be at an all-female school
Yeah.
academically, but it's terrible for guys.
Nah,
academically and socially.
I look at it from a social context. That's all
It is, but that's what
if you're gonna grow up talking to all guys, it's as simple as that. You're not gonna grow out of there knowing how to talk to girls.
Yeah, and you
That's
know what?
as
You're gonna
simple as
start
that.
talking to girls very, very,
Very
See,
much like guys.
and that's unfortunately most of the time it's very disrespectful.
Absolutely. Because like I said, we don't know how to handle our puberty, so leave us alone.
Yeah, let me be. It's
We're
like-
still trying to figure out why all this testosterone is being pumped in us.
See, we were having this discussion with one of the TOK teachers, the philosophy
Theory
teachers.
of knowledge.
So we were talking about how disrespectful males are now to females, teachers and students alike. And I was saying, like, from the old school, obviously it was an all boys school, so boys didn't have any interaction with females. They didn't learn how to talk to females. So when they talk to a female, in their eyes, it's like, why don't I just talk to her the same way I talk to a guy?
Yeah.
Extremely disrespectful. And we used to have that issue with the female teachers there, where they used to be like, the boys are very disrespectful towards us. Half the time they don't realize it. They just talk normally. But their idea of normal communication, unfortunately, is very skewed to what it should
absolutely. They go up to him like, hey, you want a link scan?
The other thing, though, is the lack of sex ed. At our schools, the faith-based schools, because there's such a lack of sex ed, where do they learn most of the sex ed stuff? Online.
Yeah.
Have you seen adult videos online?
And the
not very
man.
empowering to the female
I think
gender.
absolutely. And that brings them that false image of like, oh, that's what I want because that's what I see, so that's what's expected.
Right, they think women want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, oh yeah, they must all enjoy this. It's like, no.
Or is that Kevin Hart stand-up comedy
Well,
when he goes, I watched something online, I tried to do it with my wife, right? So I spit on her face. And she goes, did you just freaking spit on me?
and like, didn't he say the girl online was like moaning when the guy spat on
He's
her?
like, yeah, well, they're trained actresses, all right? That's what they're trained to do. The fact that he's like, I almost lied and said it was a leak in the ceiling. And I think that's where it comes down to, man. If you're going to get your education online, it's not necessarily going to be accurate. At the end of the day, everything that you see online, one way or another, someone out there is making money from it, whether it's a forum, whether it's so take that like with a grain of salt.
yeah.
But yeah, I reckon sex ed should be taught at a younger age, maybe 13, maybe 12, pushing it. I think it's that age where you're like, okay, you're discovering things on your own. But hey, let me give you a hand, because if you do it too early, then I feel like you don't get that fun experience of like that resilience to prepare you for it.
I think
you're
it
gonna be
should be-
spoon fed like way too easy.
Yeah, I think it could be like scaffolding. Instead of doing it 1 year, like bang it all out.
Don't bring scaffolding teaching strategy into this.
I
okay?
apologize.
Yes.
How about we, instead of doing it like 1 year, sit him down, have a whole term of it, just like stagger it, where you just do in year 6, you learn the basic. Year 7, you go a bit more. Like when we learn about cells, for example, in year 7, you just learn what a cell is.
That's
and then
brilliant. Yeah.
you just bang, 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 bang. And then you go out through the whole years.
It's like my parents didn't let me 1 year. I'm gonna try again the next year.
Imagine your parents don't let you for the first 3
First year,
years.
and then you miss out on all the content.
But then they let you come 4th year.
For the
where,
last
like, it's like
advanced class.
It's like BDSM and stuff.
and you're like, wait a sec. I'm sure I was meant to learn a couple of things before
Yeah, I'm
jumping into that
lacking the
step.
foundation. Imagine your report cards like, Tawfiq is lacking the foundation knowledge for sex ed classes, so
I blame my parents.
You gotta hold him back.
You didn't send me the first 3 years. No, I think it should all happen in one go. Maybe like 2 weeks worth of content.
You can't do it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 lessons. You can do it in two
Two
lessons.
lessons?
Man, absolutely you can do it in 2 lessons. You just summarize it, do what you will with that information. Don't do this, you might get that.
Let's be
Do that.
Let's be serious.
Yeah.
Put your cohort into the picture now. If I was to walk into your cohort,
No, my cohort-
it would take
Nah.
2 periods for you and Yasin alone to stop laughing when you see a photo of titties.
Yeah.
Like a photo of female
Do you know
breast.
what was wrong with my cohort?
What was wrong with
We
it?
made things funny that weren't funny.
Mm.
You know, just the sound of going would make the whole class laugh.
See?
Why?
How
Why
am I
were
gonna
we like
teach in
that?
2 periods with
Why
this?
are we still like this?
Yeah. But how am I going to do that? Bro, if I was to say open up a book and like you saw the male appendage, I can already see half your class or your whole class just like laughing or giggling and not
Yeah,
focusing. That's what,
absolutely.
2 periods is not enough.
Now imagine you do this to a year 5 class.
Yeah, bro. You know what? I reckon I'll get more maturity out of the year
Get
5
outta
kids.
here.
You know why? Because they'll laugh, but then when you tell them to be quiet, they be quiet. When you tell a year 8 to be quiet, they look at you like, shut up.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Call my mum. I'll call
She
it for
doesn't even
you.
know I'm here.
Yeah, I'll call it for you. Oh man, I remember I threatened one of the kids when I first came to the new school. I shouldn't say threatened.
You were assertive.
I told. Yeah, I was very assertive. I
Mm.
told him like, I'm gonna contact your parents. He was like, I'll help you.
Yeah.
I was like, excuse me.
Yeah, hey, Gen Z aren't afraid of anything, man.
Their
They're
parents
scared
are
of
afraid
nothing.
of them.
Yeah.
What is that? If you're a parent and you actually have fear, like, no, I shouldn't say fear, but you have that, I can't be stuffed dealing with my child's misbehavior approach, don't be a parent.
What do you
Because
mean?
that's all.
I know. I
But,
know.
like, what is that?
I know certain children that are
Yeah,
13, 14
Yeah,
now.
don't care, but it shouldn't be like
It
this.
shouldn't. It absolutely shouldn't. And I think it comes down to,
This is why we need a pay rise.
yeah, because we have to deal with the parents or we have to deal with the students.
Both.
That's true.
Bro, you're dealing with
That's true.
therapists. We're actual therapists.
I used to hear your stories about how parents would complain about the teachers because of their child's progress. And I
love
was
it.
like, surely that's like an outlier. But no, it happens a lot.
Oh,
Every
man.
single teacher I have spoken to on placements, like, look out for those parents.
You're doing wait, how many weeks is your placement?
4 weeks.
So you miss parent-teacher
I'll
interview.
just miss it. Yeah, it's
Yeah, no, you
brilliant.
cut.
No, I'm definitely not cut.
That's like a battlefield, man.
It is, man.
That's
It
what
is.
it's. But you get to just sit in the back and watch it happen. It's beautiful sitting in the back to watch. I love it.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I'm,
man.
I'm terrified.
As
But
you should
anyways, that's all the time we have for today.
Oh yeah, all right. Fair
As always.
I don't know how
Did you
much
have
time
anything
went
to add?
past.
We're-
I always
we're
got
at-
something
we're at
to add.
59
1 hour,
minutes.
yeah,
Yeah,
50.
we're at
Okay, no.
Yeah, that's all the time we have for today. As always, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. If you liked it, please give us a little like, give us a follow, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube.
Better goddamn describe.
Yeah, make sure you support each other, and as always, don't be a bad buzz.